I just can't understand why in the course of this pandemic, and in particular during your campaign, which was all about free speech, the comedy community seem so illiberal and seem so keen to shut down free speech and shut down debate. I mean, if you haven't got comedians talking up for freedom of speech, then we're all doomed, aren't we?
Yeah, absolutely. And comedy should be the last bastion of free speech. I understand we need safe spaces where, nobody's going to say anything that could possibly trigger people, but we also need unsafe spaces where we can totally transgress and cross the line. And I don't really understand why we need to censor comedy. I don't understand why we need to legislate against it. The SNP did remove the under pressure. They removed a clause that affected that covered performing arts. So we're not as under threat as we were. But comedy is performed in front of a jury. The audience are out there. There's like 250 people out there who are taken from society. They're a section of society. So if you say anything that's genuinely nasty, racist, homophobic, transphobic, whatever, they're not going to laugh because that's horrible. You know what
Correct.
I mean? But the fun is sort of playing with societal norms, and a truth, like a joke, is really just an awkward truth. So comedy is the ultimate truth and the ultimate expression of free speech.
And as the American comedian and podcaster Joe Rogan said, comedians quite often say outrageous things. They don't always believe it because that's just the nature of comedy. You know, comedy is saying things you shouldn't say.
Yeah. And sometimes, this is what people don't seem to understand. Sometimes we're joking.
Right, let me just think about that for a second. Can I? I mean, it is quite shocking. Have you suffered professionally for your political views as a result of, Brexit, your slightly right of centre position philosophically? Has this been a problem for you professionally?
Yeah, it has. I'm a Remain voter, but other things so last year, the reason I got involved with the Reclaim Party last year, somebody in the comedy industry. Who's a representative of the LCA, which is the industry comedy organization. They accused me of racism, apropos of nothing, based on nothing. They'd never met me, never spoken to me. They just decided out the blue that because I'm right wing, I'm a racist. And this is what we're up. Everybody in the comedy community is living under this cloud of fear that somebody's going to point the finger and call them racist or call them whatever, misogynist or whatever, and then they won't be able to perform at clubs. So I did get cancelled. There was some clubs, mostly terrible clubs, because people who are focused on making money don't care about woke issues. But yes, so some clubs, won't be like Show and Tell.
Yeah.
Show and Tell won't book me anymore. But I don't want to do their gigs. You know what I mean? There's enough clubs that do want to book me.
In the last 12 months, I have witnessed comedian on comedian attacks, and I've never seen this before, and I've been in the entertainment industry for over 2 decades. I know I don't look like it. I'm very well preserved, thanks Leo, but it's the lighting. Last year, to see comedians going after each other like this, I find deeply reprehensible, because the whole point is that comedy is a broad church, and you've got different types of comedians. You've got people that do wordplay and puns. You've got people that do political stuff. You've got un-PC comedians. You've got right-wing, left-wing comics. It's always been a big melting pot. And for some reason now, there seems to be an agenda which is, no, here's the groupthink. Here is the sort of dedicated set of values to which you must adhere. And if not, you're out. I've felt it. I think you're a hero for fighting against it. And examples of people who would now be in hot water, I would suggest, are Jimmy Carr, Frankie Boyle, and Billy Connolly, all great comics who would all have been censored in some way in the current climate.
Yeah, absolutely. Frankie Boyle's joke about Harvey Price, that's completely indefensible. It's very funny, but it's completely indefensible in terms of race and misogyny and all the rest of it. So that would have totally breached any sort of hate crime bill. And I think comedians have been because we've all been separated from each other by. We've only been connected by the internet over the last year because of lockdown. Everybody's been attacking each other, so there's going to be a lot of awkward meetings backstage.
Yeah.
But something else with the SNP. The SNP actually own the main comedy clubs in Scotland. They own the Glasgow Stand and the Edinburgh Stand. So no comedian in Scotland can criticise the SNP without jeopardising their comedy career.
Oh dear, I was hoping to get up there and do an opening 20 at the Stand in Glasgow soon. Seems like I'll be persona non grata. Leo, you're an incredible comedian. That's all that matters. And I look forward to you getting back where you belong on a comedy stage very soon. Thanks very much for joining us.